Help, my spouse feels like a roommate. Now, let me say this right up front. It's not your fault. It's not about you not doing enough, giving enough, cleaning enough, earning enough. You did not cause your spouse to be absent, to not be connected to you, for you to feel alone. I'm gonna just take a minute and say, you've asked to be loved. You've given them a roadmap. If you do this, I would feel loved. And then they don't do it. Or worse, you say, I'm out, I'm done, I can't take it. You get to that place of pain. I have a whole DVD called Pain for Love. And if that resonates for you, if you need to be in pain for them to love you, definitely get that video. But what happens is you get into that place of pain and then they show up and they know exactly how to love you. And it lasts for a week or two and then it goes back to the old stuff. So which means they know how to make you feel loved. They choose not to make you feel loved. And that sounds awful, even coming out of my mouth, but you're living it. You've experienced it. If you're 10, 20, 30 years in, you've seen this cycle again and again and again. And sometimes you wonder why you're even staying. Why do you put up with this? And there's a whole nother video on why do I stay when it doesn't make sense. But you're in pain. So I want to help you. First, don't blame yourself. And let me give you something that might help you. Most couples that feel married and alone, one of the spouses is dealing with what we call intimacy anorexia. If you've never heard that term, write it down and Google it. Intimacy anorexia is the active withholding of emotional, spiritual, and sexual intimacy from your spouse. Now, some of them will have sex with you, but you feel alone during sex. But it feels like you just can't get them to show up for you unless you're like having a fit. So let me give you some characteristics, and I want you just to keep track on your hand of how many of these your spouse has, and I'll tell you why in a moment. If your spouse is too busy for you, and it doesn't have to be important stuff. I mean, they could be volunteering, they could be overworking, but it could be they're just on their cell phone. It could be that they're on their computer doing Facebook or porn or something else that's distracting from time with you. It could be they have projects, whether it's the garage or, ceramics. It doesn't really matter, but they just don't have time for just you. All right. Dating is often very limited in a marriage like this. Okay. They blame you for all the problems in the relationship. If you start talking about issues, it's your fault. It's always your fault. Very rarely will you hear, I'm sorry or I'm wrong, unless you almost have a video or you spend a couple hours pounding him into the fact that they need to acknowledge that they're wrong. If you're spending all that energy and they can't see it, you know what I'm talking about. They withhold love from you, but not just generally, very specifically. They know your love language. They got you to marry them. They know if you like quality time, gifts, acts of service, praise, or touch. And where you want to be loved is where they withhold the love. Okay? I've worked with couples where a man and woman's been divorced 2 or 3 times, and for each different spouse, they withheld differently because they were wanting that pain, that distance in the marriage. They don't want to give all of themselves and show up and be intimate. And to be fair, some of them don't have the skills, but they can learn that. If you go to intimacyanorexia.com, there's a lot of information on that. And we talk about the married and alone, the book, the workbook. There's lots of stuff for you as well. But let's keep going through this. They're busy, they blame, they withhold love. They withhold praise. They might praise you publicly, but at home. How often do you hear, you're amazing, you're wonderful, that was thoughtful and kind. Man, I just celebrate you. And really mean it. It wasn't a reaction for them being in trouble. They withhold spiritually. Even if they're spiritual leaders in their community, they won't pray with you, connect with you, or have those conversations with you. It feels like you're alone spiritually. Okay, let's keep going. Sex. Some withhold sex totally. Like they won't have sex with you, or they make you feel bad for wanting sex. You're needy. You're a sex fiend. You're a nymphomaniac if you're a woman, right? And you're only getting sex once a month. So it's not like so if they're kind of putting off sex, okay, but they can have sex 2 or 3 times a week, but it doesn't feel like it's about you. It feels like they're using your body to get off. And when they're done, they're not close to you. Oftentimes they pull away from you after sex. So sex can be any of those things, all right? and it feels like it's a topic that we just can't seem to get through. Like you just want to be connected, but they don't know what you're talking about. They think that you want sex, not being made love to, and you want being made love to, and just sex feels empty after a while. Also, they're unwilling or unable to share their feelings with you. They might have a little text buddy or a little Facebook friend or somebody, but with you, they don't share their heart with you, all right? Also, they have ongoing or ungrounded criticism of you. I mean, it's not true what they're saying, or it's ongoing. They found a weakness of yours and they just keep chewing it, all right? And they can use anger or silence as a way to control you in the relationship, not talk to you for hours or days, or yell and scream at you to put you in your place so that you don't identify a flaw that they're trying to hide or avoid, okay? Some control or shame around money issues, but that's a small one. But feeling like a roommate is very common. Now, if you've kind of clicked off 5 or more of what I'm talking about, you need to do some research on intimacy anorexia. You need to get the Married and Alone book, workbook. Also, we have a Facebook group for Married and Alone, has thousands of women in that and men in a Married and Alone men's group, because this affects both genders and it's painful. You know, if a man feels married and alone, he's working hard and he's not touched, he's not loved, he's not celebrated, he feels just as much pain as a woman who maybe is staying home. But when he comes home, she's avoided, unwanted, rejected, unheard, unseen, invisible, unexplored. Either gender suffers tremendously when you feel like a roommate. And if this has been going on for years or decades, you are not the problem, but you might be the first one to take steps. Just like if you're a spouse of an alcoholic, generally speaking, it's not the alcoholic who gets help first, it's the spouse, okay? And you might be in that situation. So please reach out, call our office, 719-278-3708, or go to the websites I mentioned, intimacyanorexia.com, and you'll find the products there for Married and Alone, the Pain for Love that I talked about, Why Do I Stay When It Doesn't Make Sense, and so many other resources. For you need to heal. Neglect is trauma. Neglect is abuse. We've proven that. We have a product called Partner Betrayal Trauma, which shows that a woman that is neglected has exactly the same symptoms as a woman who's been cheated on or whose husband is a sex addict. So it's trauma to your soul, it's trauma to your being. And especially if you're in that sexless, dry place, oh my gosh, it's so painful. You go outside, other people notice you, and it feels painful that when you go home, you're not noticed. You're not alone. There are millions of you. So please take a step for yourself, invest in yourself, get the information, and you can present it to your spouse. We have stuff on YouTube, and we have an intimacy anorexia video they could watch. There's ways of presenting this. So there's hope. Let me give you that. I have seen thousands of intimacy anorexics heal. I've seen thousands of them heal, but they have to want to. If they don't want to heal, you just have to accept they don't want to heal, they don't want you, they don't want to be married, and they're just waiting for you to divorce them. That's a possible scenario as well. But you're in pain. So the first thing to do is not make those decisions, it's to start healing yourself. And as you start healing yourself and getting more intelligent, you can start walking your way out of the pain and then set boundaries and make choices and do what you have to do. But you are not alone. You're not. You're married and alone, but you don't need to be in the pain and be alone. That's up to you. So reach out, 719-278-3708. Get some of the material, please. It'll feel like I've known you your whole life, like I've been watching your marriage. This is a universal problem across continents. Please don't stay married and alone. Get help. Love yourself enough to reach out and say, this is what's going on with me. Help me. Don't drown. Don't suffer. You can have health consequences because of this. You can have all kinds of consequences because of this. You deserve to be the you without this pain. So reach out and do that. Now, if you haven't subscribed, please do. We have lots of support for you. And if you have a question about this or any other topic, put it in the box. We will get back to you as soon as possible.